Morning everybody, how are y'all doing today? I'm doing great, but Sungrand Studios is definitely not. And if you don't know who that is, then dear Lord, buckle yourself in. Because what you're about to witness might be the most insane crash out I have seen, potentially in my YouTube career. Emphasis on insane. Not because this dude gets loud and yells or anything like that, but because this dude has actually lost his mind. The only crash out I can think of that was bigger than this is the Quantum TV one. Now, some context for those of you who have no idea what's happening. So, Sungrand Studios, as you can imagine, is a studio, but the YouTube channel specifically is run by the owner of the studio. And basically, he would talk about gaming topics, as a lot of channels do, but from the perspective of a game dev. And one of his things is he would be a lot more professional about it, and he would always, like, wear a suit and tie when he would talk about things. And I never watched the guy's videos myself, but I was sent a lot of videos from him just like in DMs and whatnot. It seemed like people really trusted this guy and genuinely enjoyed his content. However, this guy had a bit of a slip up recently, which is fine. All YouTubers mess up. I've done it a few times myself. And basically what happened was this guy uploaded a video that was defending $80 games on the Switch 2, which, you know, as a man who was so for the people and so pro-consumer and whatnot, this was very surprising to see from him. And so naturally, being a corporate shill, he was called out and made fun of. And since then, the video has been deleted. Then, a few days ago, he uploaded another video, which is now deleted, where he basically turned into a really condescending, "I'm so disappointed in you" teacher or parent. Have you ever had it, like, in one of your classes in school, where it comes out that a bunch of kids were cheating somehow? I know this happened to me one time in high school, because this was during COVID. People were, like, cheating on the online exams and whatnot, and one of the teachers found out, and we got a very stern talking to, basically. That's the exact energy that this deleted crash out video had, which we're gonna take a look at parts of it today, not the whole thing, because it's a lot of repeating himself. And, you know, getting talked down to by a guy who is really not above you in any way at all is a little annoying to listen to. So yeah, we're gonna go over the key highlights from that, and then afterwards, we're gonna jump into another video he made in which he tried to walk back the crash out vid and say that it was just a prank, bro. And no, I'm not kidding. But first, let's take a look at the original crash out.
Have a seat. We're gonna talk. My name is Jarrell. You might know me as the guy who put on the suit and did industry speeches. I covered a number of industry topics. I identified opportunities for the industry to move away from malpractices and move towards better practices, focusing on integrity, honesty, and transparency.
I mean, he's not lying. He did identify ways for the industry to move away from malpractice. Emphasis on did for all those other companies out there. But when it comes to Nintendo, nope, you gotta defend them. Now, you might be wondering why this is the case. Well, remember I said he's a game dev? Well, his development overwhelmingly focuses on Nintendo. That's not to say he doesn't put out games on other platforms. He's put some stuff out on PC, and I think he just recently actually ported some of his games to, like, the Vita, which is cool, but he definitely has his reasons to favor Nintendo.
And I will sometimes be covering topics and presenting topics with speeches that you will not always understand. I told you that whatever I discuss here on industry topics will be for the gamers. I am against anti-consumer practices. I'm against pro-corporate. And I asked you to be patient, to listen, and to trust me.
Dude, I just can't. This guy is such a condescending dick. Oh, well, sometimes I might discuss things that you might not fully understand. Like, dude, shut the hell up. Stop talking down to your audience as if they're idiots because they disagreed with you on something. And are you really gonna try to sit here and claim you're against anti-consumer and pro-corporate practices when this whole video is in response to backlash because you were defending $80 games? Man, how for the consumer of you. And you say you asked people to trust you. Needless to say, it is basically impossible to trust anything you say after this drama. And not because he was defending the $80 Nintendo games. No, we'll get into that in a little bit.
Now, when the announcement for the Switch 2 was launched, things were not going well. There were many negative reactions online, and I posted a number of videos that were not just literal. They were prompts. They were prompts for you to share your feedback so the industry could see how you feel and how you respond to certain subjects. It did not go well in the fact that people, instead of receiving any information or viewing the matter in a subjective way, merely through tantrums, people did not care about the facts. They ignored the facts, and they only focused on hatred and anger. And people only focused on stoking that anger and hatred.
Wait. So let me get this straight. You made the video as a prompt, as you say, for people to share their opinions and see how they would react to the situation. And now you're mad that you got a reaction that you didn't want. Is that what I'm hearing? Because that's what it sounds like. It just sounds like you're mad that people didn't agree with you on $80 being fine. And guess what? Being upset that you have to pay more for a game for no reason isn't throwing a tantrum. You can look at the facts and still draw a different conclusion than somebody else. I don't know what part of this is not connecting in your brain. God forbid people see things differently than you. Also, did he misspeak there? He said people didn't view the matter in a subjective way. You do realize people not liking this is subjective, right? Did he mean to say objective? And he's talking about anger and hatred and stoking it. Hey, guess what this video ended up doing? It ended up stoking the anger that people already had. Pro tip for YouTubers out there, or like up and coming YouTubers if you want to start doing it, whatever. Not to say that I've made it or anything, but here's some genuinely good advice. If you end up having a bad take, the best thing you can do is just move on. Don't directly address it. If you're going to, just apologize quickly and then move on. And I think it goes without saying, don't upload a video saying that everybody who disagreed with you was throwing a tantrum. Just because you wear a suit doesn't mean you're superior to everybody who watches you.
And because of that, people turned on me. I was slandered online, which does not matter to me. Again, I do not care about reputation. I have no interest in popularity. But people were slandering me for a time period, and not a single content creator stood up in my defense.
Wow, imagine my shock. You had a bad take that was extremely anti-consumer and nobody agreed with you and stood up for you. Who would have thought? I'm not demanding that he have the popular take. Like, his take is his own. If he's gonna defend $80 games, then fine. But don't get upset when people call you out and disagree with you, and especially when nobody defends you. Also, you say people were slandering you. You do know it's not slander if it's true, right? Like, a statement has to be false for it to be slander. I don't know who was slandering you or how. It's not like you bring it up at any point in this video, but clearly it does bother you. If it didn't, you wouldn't be making this video, or at least you wouldn't be going out of your way to specifically mention this in the video.
Now, what does that show the industry? It shows the industry that when people are shown information and facts, the hate mob online will disregard any information and won't actually watch videos and won't actually listen. I posted a number of videos to show what would happen, and you guys proved that you do not actually watch videos, you do not actually listen to information, you outright ignore it and focus on just creating hatred online.
I actually can't. This dude cannot fathom the fact that people took in the information that was provided to them and came to a different conclusion. I understand inflation is an issue. I also understand that gaming companies make more than enough money off of $60 and $70 games, and that there is no good reason that they are going to 80. Certainly not any pro-consumer reasons, at least. And what do you mean people didn't watch your videos? You do realize you are in this situation because people did watch your videos and didn't agree with them, right? What am I saying? Of course not. Anybody who watches his videos would automatically agree with him. He's a part of the gaming industry. He couldn't be wrong. All right, now we're gonna skip ahead to the really condescending, I'm disappointed in you speech.
I expected much better out of all of you. This is entirely my fault. This is not your fault. This is entirely my fault because I believed in you. I believed you had the maturity and the intelligence to understand what I was telling you, to understand information that was presented to you, and I'm very disappointed.
You condescending slice of ass. I hope that green screen behind you falls down and you have to spend a slightly annoying amount of time putting it back up. I don't want it to take too long. I just want it to take long enough so that you feel as annoyed as I do right now. I wasn't kidding when I said this dude literally sounds like a teacher who's upset with his students for cheating. Oh, this isn't your fault. This is my fault because I believed in you. Shut the hell up. If you don't like $80 games, you don't have maturity or intelligence, apparently. You know, this guy will happily call out Ubisoft, Unity, any developers who make anti-consumer moves. And that's fine, but when Nintendo jacks up prices on games that just had their prices increased a couple years ago, no, you can't be upset about that or else you're immature. Now, we're almost done with this video, but first, I want to take a look at what I can only describe as main character syndrome.
When the previous CEO of Unity, John Riccitiello, put in anti-developer and anti-consumer practices and was going to tear apart Unity as a company and rupture the industry, I first put on the suit and tie, I spoke, and we were able to remove the CEO that was destroying Unity. That is extremely difficult to do. You cannot just make that happen.
I'm sorry, genuine question. Who do you think you are? Do you really think that because you put on a suit and tie and made a video about the CEO of Unity, that is what got him removed? No! Obviously the internet backlash probably did a little something, but it was mostly developers threatening to pull out that probably got that CEO voted out of the company. What, you think because you spoke on YouTube with a suit and tie that you just magically got him out? Also, I'd just like to point out the irony in him bringing up the Unity situation. Because that whole thing was Unity was going to start charging devs or like taking a little bit of the game's revenue per sale once you hit a certain number of sales. So Unity trying to charge the devs extra, that was not cool. That's what inspired you to first put on the suit and tie and speak out against it. But Nintendo charging consumers extra, no, that's perfectly fine. How could we not agree with this guy? This guy comes off as genuinely delusional, and trust me when I say the next video we look at after this one is not going to help his case.
So moving forward, I will not be addressing any industry topics whatsoever. Because I can't anymore. You destroyed our credibility. Great work. I told you everything I said is not literal. I told you these videos are prompts to show the industry how you respond to stimulus, to information, and you responded in the absolute worst way possible. You could not have responded worse.
Yes, we, his audience, destroyed the trust. He didn't destroy the trust with his audience when he started shilling for Nintendo and being inconsistent compared to how he treats all other companies. No, that didn't destroy the trust. It was people who got mad at him for doing that. Honestly, you know what? I'm with him. I'm so disappointed in you guys. This is so sad. 1 like equals 1 prayer. And wow, just way to give up. You got pushback for 1 bad take, and you're just throwing in the towel. You know what? He was right when he said he's not a YouTuber, or at least he's not cut out to be one. If you're gonna have this kind of attitude when you get flack for things, then yeah, you shouldn't be doing this. Also, this guy did not say that these are prompts to see how we respond to stimulus. Buddy, you're not a scientist. Shut up. You're not Bill Nye. Oh, well, actually, Bill Nye was an engineer, not a scientist. Shut up! He is called the science guy. Oh my god. Anyway, now we're gonna move move on to the follow-up video he made to this, in which he tried to walk back the entire thing and say that it was just a prank and an elaborate scheme, which could be true, I guess. Like, nobody knows 100% except for him, but I'll explain why it doesn't really matter in a minute. And like with this video we just looked at, I'm gonna be cutting out any fluff and whatnot, so if there's jumps, then that's why. All right, let's take a look.
And that really meant something to me. The fact that I could maintain this channel and bring people something positive, but there was a problem. Because of the content that I was creating in regards to the games industry, it was bringing in a lot of subscribers who were ruining that vibe. I keep a close watch on the comments, and there are people who want to come here for positivity and relax, and they were expressing that they were just kind of bummed out by the killjoys that were coming into the comment section, just ruining everything with their negativity and spreading hate and looking for hate content. And they were, you know, not so supportive when I just wanted to do funny educational stuff. So I decided that I want to focus this channel entirely on bringing people positivity. I want this channel to be a place where you can hang out, you can relax, you can have fun, and you shouldn't have to worry about people in the comment sections just pushing negativity onto other people.
Okay, so I cut out a big chunk of the intro because that like 1 minute clip just summarized it right there, and I'm not trying to play like 3 whole minutes without commentary. But basically the gist was he noticed that over the past few months, because his channel got very big very quickly, people enjoyed his content and they thought it was funny and positive, but there were some people coming into the comments and being negative and kind of ruining the vibe. Seems pretty standard. I mean, that's just how the internet is. But what doesn't make literally any sense is how this guy went about this situation. So you want to get rid of the negative people and you only want it to be positive vibes so people can chill. YouTube has a few features that you can use to accomplish this. You can hide negative users on the channel, like basically just ban them. You can delete strictly negative comments that just don't really add anything. Or you could just ignore those comments and just keep up the positive vibes, and naturally the negative people will leave and you'll just be only left with positive people. So what was his solution to this problem? Make an 8-minute video being extremely condescending, talking about how he was done talking about these industry topics and how disappointed he was in his viewers for being too stupid and immature to understand his perspective. Great job there, bud. You really showed him.
And I'm not this big professional YouTuber, so I don't exactly know how to handle or manage all of this, so
you don't say. You could have fooled me. At least he admitted he has no idea how to handle this. I mean, he didn't really need to. It was very clear already. I mean, for God's sakes, in the previous clip that we looked at, he said that the audience responded in the worst way possible. Oh, the irony. Because, in fact, it was you, sir, who responded in the worst way possible. And now this video that we're currently watching is also the worst possible response you could have given to your previous one. But before I say anything else, you know what, let's let him explain his master plan.
What I knew was I had to somehow get a lot of people to unsubscribe from my channel, and I wasn't exactly sure how to do that. But when the topic of the Nintendo Switch 2 came up, and I saw that people were getting riled up and highly emotional, and I knew that a portion of my subscribers would be looking for anger and hatred. They're looking for me to, stick it to them, show Nintendo. I saw the opportunity to create content with very deliberate phrasing and tone that I knew that my genuine audience, the people that come here to just have fun, to have some positivity, I knew those people would not be offended. I knew that you guys would know something is up.
Okay, you're either lying or you're being genuine. Either way, you just made yourself look like a complete ass. Let's look at both situations. First, let's assume that he's lying and he's saying it's just a prank, which is honestly the more likely situation. If you are lying, then congratulations, nobody is falling for it, and you're just making yourself look even worse with your own audience. Now, if you're telling the truth and this was an elaborate plan, congratulations, you just admitted to making a fake video to manipulate people's emotions. And no, you didn't just manipulate the negative, toxic people in your comments. You also manipulated your own audience members who genuinely liked you. And judging by the comments on this video, a lot of them are pissed off at you. So congratulations. By doing this and making an intentionally negative video to trick people, you have now lost people who genuinely enjoyed your content because they don't like being manipulated, and you are now going to attract even more negative people, and this is forever going to stain your reputation. Congratulations, you could not have handled this worse. I was talking about how he sounded like a teacher who was disappointed in people earlier. This dude is basically acting like the teacher who punishes the whole class because one student was goofing off. Like, imagine if one student cheated on an exam and then everybody got zeros because of it, but then the next day the teacher said, oh no, you didn't actually get zeros, don't worry. I only gave you a mini heart attack to scare away the one bad kid, but all of you are good. I would be pissed as a student because now I don't know what I can trust anymore. It's like when Reforge Gaming admitted that he rage baited clips sometimes. How is anybody supposed to trust you from here on out when anything you do in the future could potentially be emotional manipulation? Speaking of emotional manipulation, apparently in his original deleted video defending the prices of the Switch 2, he was using Iwata's death to justify this. And apparently he mentioned something about one of his friends having cancer. I didn't even see that. But I'm not kidding when I say this is legitimately sociopathic, and I don't have to be like a psychologist to say that. This dude admitted to actively emotionally manipulating people to get what he wanted. And as somebody in his comments pointed out, there is now a lot more negativity in the comments than there was previously. This dude basically did the equivalent of lighting his house on fire to kill a single spider. And I just love that he's trying to save himself by saying, oh, well, I knew my real audience members would be smart enough to understand this. So congratulations, you're now insulting any of your real fans who actually thought you were being serious in that last video. There is quite literally no winning for you. I don't know why you decided to do this. I mean, it's clear you didn't think it out. I mean, you admitted yourself you didn't know how to handle this, but dear Lord, this goes beyond not knowing how to handle a situation. And I just watched the rest of the video. It's just him repeating himself, saying, oh, I knew the intelligent people would stick around while the trolls would unsub. And he even said he's mad that more people haven't unsubbed. And then it gets even worse, as if you thought it couldn't, because he uploaded another video yesterday apologizing for this video. Dude, just stop. Every subsequent video you make on this is digging the hole deeper. Just move on. Kind of like how a lot of your audience has moved on because they don't like being manipulated. Isn't that funny how that works? And yeah, that's basically the entire situation covered. I could have responded to each individual video and made this like an hour and a half long, but I wanted to get this out before I go home for Easter break. And don't worry, I kept all the important stuff. You can actually trust me when I say that anything I cut out was just repeated or non-necessary. And I hope you all enjoyed this TED Talk about what can happen if you have no idea how to respond to a little bit of negativity, and how trying to do that might end up creating more. Remember, folks, never try to put out a fire with gasoline. 9 out of 10 doctors agree it doesn't end well. But yeah, anyway, with all that being said, that's gonna do it for this video. Thank you all so much for watching. Like the video if you liked it, dislike it if you didn't like it, subscribe if you want to see more. Join us every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern for Salt streams, including tonight. You better be there. If you're not, I'm gonna break into your house and leave a copy of 1-2 Switch. And I will catch you all next time. Also, frittata needs to become a meme.